human potential. Experts suggest we only use 10% of our mind's conscious capacity. Can you imagine what could happen for you if you access the other 90%? Now, there is a revolutionary breakthrough. You can actually know how to access the full power of your mind. This technology and information has never been incorporated into any seminar program until now. At the Good Life Seminars, you can learn how to unlock great resources within your own mind.
My friend called me and said, I just went to the neatest course. I can now solve any problem in my life. And I said, so tell me about this course.
Maybe it didn't really show up on the outside as a miracle, but what really happened is the change that happened inside.
What I enjoy most about the Good Life experience is how it has centered on skill-building activities.
The thing that I love most about the course is that I learned that I could finally take control of my life.
My involvement with Good Life has been the single most business-enhancing experience that I've ever taken.
I had attended so many different seminars, often at the expense of my company, but none of them had the same impact the Good Life experience did on me. I consider it an unseminar.
It was an entirely positive experience for me.
It's easy to learn, it's fun, and you can enjoy a lot of people.
It's a mind fitness course. You exercise your mind just like you do any other part of your body.
The Good Life experience has given me skills that I can use in my everyday life that help me to get what I really want in life.
To be able to have it all, that was what I learned from the Good Life experience. And so I couldn't wait for the next course to start. And I was so excited because it was exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a way to love people unconditionally, but I didn't know quite how.
The thing that really impacted on me about the Good Life experience was the fact that at last someone had really found a technology for helping people to develop their minds. As a marriage and family therapist and educator in higher education, I was well aware that the quality of our life depends upon the quality of our relationships, and the quality of our relationships depends upon the quality of our thinking. Therefore, it was just exciting beyond all belief to find out that someone really had some research evidence and a technology for helping people to develop their minds to levels of functioning where solutions could be found. We all know what it's like to be caught in a morass where nothing we do works and there are no solutions.
I recall one person that I was sitting next to in her mid-60s who for 60 years had been searching, studying, looking throughout the world to find a method, to find a way to overcome. It was incredible. One process in a matter of a few minutes changed her entire life through the use of her mind.
To discover how all this is possible, let me introduce you to a man who has a bachelor's degree in science, physics, and chemistry, a master's degree in religious education and educational psychology, as well as a doctorate degree in philosophy, child development, and family relations. He's had 12 years of experience in private psychotherapy services and also ran a drug rehabilitation program for 6 clinics. During this time, he was researching and collecting information that led to the development of the Good Life seminars. The founder and director of the Good Life Experience, Dr. Vernon Wolfe.
About 20 years ago, during the 60s, when there was a lot of drug activity and drug abuse and very few solutions, I was running about 6 drug rehabilitation clinics. We'd organized them because there just wasn't anybody to help. We got federal funding and we were doing the whole thing. But I noticed that there was no mind model. Here were people with burnt out minds and no model anywhere in any of the literature for how the mind actually redevelops itself, or in fact even develops itself. So I went to work to find out if we could devise some way to figure out how the mind actually worked. What we did is we took a branch of mathematics called topology. You can change the shape of things with topology without changing any of its function. And we made topological maps of the mind, what's really happening. Then we took a branch of science called holographics, and we applied that, because the mind actually thinks and records and communicates in holographic images. And then we took quantum physics and applied that to mental functioning. These things had never been done before. And what we came out with was a brand new model of the mind. It's a multi-dimensioned model of how people integratively think. And when your mind discovers how to do that, it's just amazing how simple you can solve your problems. And many things about the characteristics of the mind that are so complex to understand any other way become very simple to understand. So that even little children can do this.
After 12 years of comprehensive research, using the most updated knowledge from 8 areas of science, we are able to present the most sophisticated model of mental functioning that we presently know of. We designed the model in the shape of a box. Then we opened it. Here is a brief look at some of the model. The shaded area represents the brain-mind cognitive mapping arena for family belief systems, as seen topologically. Everything you have learned from your family system is mapped in your mind. The language you speak, many of your attitudes, personal habits, and ways you relate to others find their origin here. Most family belief systems are passed down from one generation to another. We are comfortable with these systems, even though sometimes they don't function for us. Cultural belief systems are also mapped in your mind and now control much of your behavior on a subconscious level. To identify barriers to your full potential requires identifying and transforming old belief systems. When both family and cultural belief systems are correlated in the mind, they create comfort zones, which the mind uses to fortify itself against change. Such comfort zones are both your friend and your enemy. They function in a friendly way to give meaning to things and to help us to make sense out of the world. They are our enemy because they place self-imposed restrictions on ourselves and do not let us go beyond our inherited restrictions. In an age of rapid growth, it becomes essential to learn new skills, to reach beyond our old patterns. The mind has amazing correlative ability. It takes all family and cultural belief systems and creates control centers at each level of maturation. You will notice the mind model is shaped like a box in which mental activity occurs in 6 compartments. As your mind faces different problems, it will handle them according to one of these control centers. The first control center is responsible for your physical well-being. In this control center, your mind decides whether to invest energy into life and health or to invest energy into death and illness. The second control center is responsible for your emotional well-being. In this control center, your mind decides whether to care, to build self-esteem and see yourself as okay, or to escape from caring and endlessly cycle in war, fear, fight, and flight. The third control center is responsible for your rational well-being. In this control center, your mind decides to commit and create actual connectedness in relationships with others, or to escape from commitment and play games, to disconnect, manipulate, or just coexist. The fourth control center is responsible for your social well-being. In this control center, your mind is aware of systems and laws. Your mind decides whether to learn discipline and understand order, or to escape from learning and give up your own authority to rules, books, and what you should do, and become bound by structure. The fifth control center is responsible for your spiritual well-being. In this control center, your mind chooses to integrate and expand, to be fair, to care, to share, or to escape from integration and choose to be rationalistic, super reasonable, self-righteous, and superior. You can recognize it as a lot of talk, but no substance. The sixth control center is responsible for your universal well-being. In this center, you decide whether to fulfill your capacity to care about all life, to be productive, creative, and true to yourself and others. Or you can escape from your own capacity and become euphoric, untouchable, and sainted. Like gears in a truck, we can shift to any of these centers at will and respond in our relationships. If your responses are only from centers 1 to 4, then you will find yourself at dead ends, in conflict and without resolution. At the course, you can learn how to shift over and up for more power and maturity in your relationships.
And on the mind model, from levels 1 to 4, there are no solutions. And yet, research tells us that most people in the world are functioning on these levels. For me, that was really concerning, and yet what a delight to find out that there is a way, there is a technology, there is a content, there is a process whereby people can be taught how to function on levels 5 and 6, on a principled level where solutions may be found for individual inner peace, for peace being couples and dyads, for peace in families, and ultimately for peace in the world.
Bonding represents the way we relate to one another. Our bonding behavior is developed by perceiving models. Every relationship we have ever seen or experienced is recorded in complete motion pictures within our minds. In this reservoir of relationships are all the possibilities to choose from, to imitate when we bond. If our models have been self-centered, our way of bonding will be self-centered. If our bonding experiences have been mature, our way of bonding will be mature. During the correlation of all these facets of our minds, a most exciting discovery came about. A process of intra-mind communication was discovered, whereby you can actually isolate and focus on any behavior or feeling that is immature. Under your own conscious control, you learn how to remap and teach yourself new solutions in a matter of minutes. Behind every negative behavior or feeling, there is a hidden positive intent. So, hidden inside of whatever is stopping you or holding you back is the unleashed power to get what you really want.
If in fact you're depressed or you're not using a lot of your potential or you have particular problems, by applying the mind model, looking at your own mind, you can see how it is you're functioning and what is necessary for you to make the necessary steps to get out of your problems and reach your full potentiality. We tested this on every kind of problem you could imagine and a lot of problems you can't imagine. And the end result was that people were able to solve their own problems.
I had grown up with cultural and social belief systems that told me that nice girls and girls who pretended to want what everybody wanted were the ones who succeeded. And what I found from the course was that I could ask for what I wanted, my dreams.
The main thing I think was the gaining of a personal peace. Old angers that I used to have, they just dissipated by the use of these methods. And then I found that as I gained the personal peace, it spread to all my relationships.
I think when anybody gets in an environment where they can learn about themselves and the true self that they are, the true person that they are, they find a deep love for themselves, and when they love themselves, it's very easy to love other people.
It was like I was in prison, in this comfortable prison, and I didn't know what was outside. And the good life opened up the doors, and I had a panoramic view of choices, of possibilities.
I guess what I experienced is that I felt kind of trapped inside, and yet on the outside I appeared happy. And then after I experienced the good life, the outside appearance probably did not change that much, but really what changed was the feeling inside. I wasn't trapped anymore. I was really happy.
It's a beautiful impact because it's so healing. Oftentimes, family traditions become ingrained and skewed so that they take a personality almost of their own. For example, we find that in a family where there's an alcoholic family member, if it's one of the children, if that child leaves the family system will create another alcoholic. There's a need for a problem within the family system. To recognize that, to address the need for a problem as potential for positive impact, to see that change take place and instead of creating problems, create growth opportunities, is the most healing, dynamic impact that the seminar has on families.
What we have here is an experience that I experienced that has increased my ability to communicate with my children like I always wanted to and never knew how. And it's just beautiful when I can communicate with them in such a way that we always understand what we're feeling and what we're saying.
I used to take my children's lives very personally. When they were successful, I felt the success, and when they had failures, I felt the failures, and I felt like it was my problem if they failed, that I didn't teach them the right way. The Good Life experience has taught me that their path is perfect, that it's okay for them to make their mistakes and learn what they need to learn. And I don't have to feel the failures. I can still feel good about myself.
And finally, here I am at the age of 40. I've decided that I can quit running away from the problems of my life and face how I feel about things, and finally take control of my mind and take control of my emotions and appreciate myself for who I am.
The mind model gave me the opportunity to take years of training and put it into a perspective that made sense of everything I was doing. And that was fun.
And it seems like after the college education, after the numerous books I've read, after the lectures, the tidbits of wisdom from friends and relatives, I still was unable to really grasp what it was I wanted in life. And then I came upon this course, and it gave me 45 hours of participation, of experiential training in building skills to know how to get what I really want.
That ability to penetrate myself and to reveal myself to myself and to have fun doing it was really terrific.
I have learned how to love myself, and that has expanded within myself. And because of that, I've been able to expand my love for my children and for my husband. And the best of all is that I see no end.
Not just where a person goes to listen lecture style and learn, but they have an opportunity to try it out right there within the seminar and focus on skill building, which goes with them in every application, whether in business, in family, in community, wherever they are.
The processes that I learned in Good Life Experience, I like to consider mind aerobics. It's the most sophisticated form of meditation I have ever seen. It's a way for me to channel my faith energy so that I'm more effective in all 5 dimensions: physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, and spiritually.
I've learned that the world outside didn't need to be changed. The only thing that I possibly had to change was the vision that I had within myself.
It's not a mystery anymore. Our minds are open, and they're accessible, and they have messages for us. All we need to do is learn to listen.
It was only a few hours into the seminar till I recognized the incredible sophistication in the use of the mind and the power in human behavioral change in myself and others.
And it's all application of the methods. It's simple, it's quick, it isn't a long hassle to get there, and it's good.
The processes have taught me how to be the master of my own mind.
I developed a mind model because I care. I really cared about my people who were hurting, and they had no path to follow, no way to bring their own mentality up to its full potential. And that, I think, is one of the greatest potentialities of the whole world.
Because of the overwhelming response to the Good Life seminars, courses have been developed that are tailored to your specific needs. Teens, families, businesses, professionals, couples, and governments. We anticipate that this mind model will have an impact on the world in many major areas. In education, therapy, and in the world of work. In fact, there is no place that this mind model will not have an impact. This is the time to discover your mind.